Hello my dear friends, I am Prashant Mamani and I warmly welcome all of you to StudyIQ. Dear friends, you know that StudyIQ provides you pen drive and tablet courses for your different exams, and Christmas is just around the corner, so we have decided to give you up to 40% discount on our pen drive and tablet courses. So make sure you make the most out of this discount. This is going to end by 25th December, that is on Christmas. So just check out studyiq.com to know more about it. With this, dear friends, identify the thing that you can see on your screen. Give me the name of this place as well as the city or country in which you find it. With this, the first item that we have is pertaining to African continent, a country called Mali. You can see on your screen Vice President, and we have Indian dignitaries sitting here, and the people in this side, they are from Mali. They were here in India and they interacted with our Vice President. Now on this occasion, Vice President has shared his thoughts regarding, or you can say Government of India has expressed its warmth and love that it shares with a country called Mali, which is in Africa. As you know now, it is here, this portion, this is the country of Mali, and you can see here the borders of most of these African countries are in a straight line. This also reminds us about their colonial past. It was for their convenience, different colonial powers like French and English and Spanish, all those colonial powers, they demarcated this sort of lines. Anyways, here you can see Mali, and North Atlantic Ocean is here. It is sharing border with many different countries. As you can see, these countries were famous for, or where they were in news for Ebola, and we talked about Ghana a couple of days ago. Morocco was there in news as well, and here there are some important items that I would like to draw your attention at. Prime Meridian line is passing through this country of Mali. At the same time, you can also see Tropic of Cancer is also passing from its northern tip. It is having a very important river called Niger. Niger is a very important river for not only Mali but for other African countries as well. And this portion here of Mali falls under this Sahara Desert. With this, dear friends, I'm sure many important things pertaining to Mali is with you now. And one more thing that I would like to highlight here is that many times you find this sort of questions that in which African country you find Prime Meridian line as well as Tropic of Cancer crossing each other. So remember, that country is this one, Algeria. With this, dear friends, the first thing that is being said by Government of India or Vice President is about terrorism and radicalization. This is, of course, the biggest challenge, one of the biggest challenge through which India, Mali and the whole world is going through, right? The second one is climate change, of course, but this one is a man-made one. Of course, the climate change is also a man-made one, so to speak. With this, dear friends, Vice President has said that India stands ready to extend the line of credit which we provide to the country of Mali for their renewable energy sector. And Mali is also been bestowed with this duty-free tariff preference scheme, so that exports from Mali can export its goods to our country, and so that it can get exemption from this duty thing, right? So this way Mali's export can go up. In the same way, the things that we cannot produce here, or the things that we get from Mali at cheaper rate or reasonable rate as well as in good quality, that we can directly import from Mali. So it is a sort of win-win situation for both the countries. Apart from that, he also talked about development cooperation partnership. He said that India is committed and India is ready to further strengthen this partnership with Mali. He also referred about this World Heritage site of Timbuktu, which has this Islamic scripture and manuscripts. Manuscripts are things that are written by hand, and you also read about a thing called inscriptions, right? So the difference between inscription and manuscript is that this one is written by hand on a paper or a soft object, And this one inscription is you find writings on a hard object or substance like a copper plate or maybe a rock or something, right? And he also talked about this G5 Sahel Joint Force, which contributes in unity, peace, development and prosperity of Mali and the countries in this region. With this, dear friends, the second item that we have, which is very important, it is pertaining to digital advancement of rural post office for New India. We have talked about post office in our PIB analysis in the past. I remember it quite clearly. You were being provided with some pictures and things as well. Now today we are going to talk about this Darpan, which is launched by this Ministry of Communications. I'm sure you know that post office, they fall under this postal department, right? It falls under this Ministry of Communication. And this digital advancement of rural post office for a New India, this scheme is for financial inclusion of unbanked rural population. Now you would be thinking that we already have Jan Dhan for financial inclusion, then why we need Darpan? The major difference between Jan Dhan, right, and this Darpan is that Jan Dhan covers both rural and urban population, but it is more focused on individuals, right? This Jan Dhan, but this one is for rural population. So urban population will not fall under this Darpan scheme. This is a thing that makes it stand out from this Jan Dhan. The other thing is that, dear friends, post offices, I'm sure you know that the biggest reach, right, or you can say the widest penetration of any department that we have in our country is post office. And utilizing post office for providing financial inclusion scheme, that means you are going to take all those people who are living in nooks and corners of our country. 1,400 crore rupees will be provided for low power technology solution under this Darpan scheme, and all these facilities that we get in an urban setup like financial remittance facilities and saving accounts, and you can have life insurance and cash certificates and all these things, right? Even the payments of Naregas and things like that will be done, or this will help in all these things, this darshan and financial inclusion. With this, I was talking about this 1.5 lakh post offices, right? This many branches we have of post office. So you can imagine that the place where even banks cannot reach, right? We can reach there with the help of post office. The other thing is that, you know, our culture, Indian culture, that postman and women, right? They are you can say a trustable face, right? People know them, and this postal department people, particularly this field workers, right? Postwoman and postman, they know people personally. They interact with them, and they are catering for a very long period of time. So when it comes to money and things like that, then you need someone on whom you can trust. And this field workers, they are the best representatives, I think, right? So this is one of the main reason why we are using this financial inclusion thing. We are using post office for spreading financial inclusion. With this, dear friends, Ministry of Defense has a very good news for all of us, and it is about the launch of Sujay. Sujay is a ICGS, that means Indian Coast Guard ship. A couple of days ago we launched INS Calvary, right? There is a special video lecture available on our YouTube channel on INS Calvary. What it means for India and things like that have been discussed, so make sure you check that one out as well. And this Sujay is offshore patrol vessel. We know Uki, right? We talked about Uki, the cyclone that has killed many people, and at present somewhere around 1,000 people are still missing. We don't know anything about that. So during this sort of time, we can utilize this sort of ships, right? These boats can be utilized. And the good thing about this Sujay is that it is designed and built indigenously in India. That means it is also a very good example of Make in India program, and it has all this state-of-art navigation and communication equipment and sensors and machineries and things like that. So we can control piracy and other things as well, terrorism and piracy and all those troublemaking things can be can be kept an eye on and can be kept away from our bay with the help of this INS Sujoy and other boats that we have. With this Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises, it has formulated a mission plan for electric vehicles. It has launched NEMMP 2020, that stands for National Electric Mobility Mission Plan 2020, and we have talked about EVs, electronic vehicles, at least 3 times, so I'm sure you know many things about EVs now. And one of the biggest challenge that we have in front of us when it comes to EVs, the first thing is batteries, right? We need reliable batteries. We need batteries that can last longer. We need batteries that can be charged quickly, and we also need those a sort of infrastructure in which you can directly replace your discharged batteries with a charged battery, and in this way, rather than waiting for your battery to get charged, you can place your battery there, you can pick up one battery, and you can off you go, right? And someone else, once that battery is charged, someone else can use that battery, and in this way we can have a battery swapping transport system. Something like this is possible. There are many research going on around the world, and the first country to have a breakthrough in it will have a, you can say, a competitive advantage on the future of transportation. And India is trying its level best, and with the help of this NEMMP 2020, the main, you can say, objective of this scheme is to promote or to create a demand for such vehicles, to increase, or to, you can say, to enhance manufacturing of EVs and hybrid vehicles, to provide support and money for this R&D technology, and R&D in technology and battery technology and things like that, right? The other thing is this Department of Heavy Industry has also notified a thing called FAME, F-A-M-E. Remember, this sort of things you find in MCQs, so please pay attention to this thing. FAME stands for Faster Adoption of Manufacturing of Hybrid and Electric Vehicles in India. It was implemented back in 1st April 2015. The phase 1 was supposed to get over by 31st March, but it is extended further till 31st March 2018. So we have what, 3 months and 10 days to go, something like that. And as I told you, the funding will be used for R&D and for the development of EVs and things associated with EVs. Here are 2 projects that are active at present. And moving on to another item, this is our focus topic of the day. It is pertaining to judiciary, but in judiciary we are going to focus on criminal justice system, right? Criminal justice system is the focus topic of the day, and the reason why we are talking about this thing is that nearly 60 former Supreme Court judges, they have expressed their concerns regarding India's criminal justice system. And I'm sure we all are aware about how things are going on when it comes to criminal justice system. We find it is a sort of culture in our country that it is considered a matter of shame to step in a police station, right? The society will talk about it. If you have some police friends as well, if they are visiting you in a uniform, then as well you will find that people will be inquiring what is going on with that home or house, isn't it? So this is the reputation, and this is a very sad reputation, because a visit of a police, if it's a friendly visit, then it should be appreciated. The other thing is that imagine when police, or when this criminal justice system is active, and if they are visible in our society, if they are found in our dwelling places, then that means the security of our area is better, isn't it? Someone is looking after the security of our area. So this is a difference in culture. The other things, or you can say issues that are associated with criminal justice systems are this frequent use of torture. Torture bill is going to be laid in this winter session, and this is one of the main reasons we are discussing this thing. Now see, when it comes to torture, we know it very well how things are working in our country. Recently there was a case of Ryan International School, and a small child was killed, and at that point of time the bus conductor was abducted by the police, and we know it very well, the treatment that he has got from the police. And eventually the police came to know that it was not that bus conductor, it was a school boy, 16-year-old boy, who committed this murder, isn't it? So you can see how unprofessional we are behaving. The other thing is that fabrication of evidence in criminal cases. As we are talking here on this criminal justice system today, the whole day one thing was visible or was displayed by different news channels. It was a thing pertaining to this 2G scam, spectrum scam, and what the judiciary, or what this special court has said, it has said that CBI has not provided anything on which we can take any sort of action. So what is going on with this thing? And this is not the only case. These are some of the most recent cases we are talking about. There are numerous cases that we have in our past in which fabrication of evidence and things like that, right? This sort of things are conducted, and it is not that difficult as well to fabricate evidence and things like that in our country, which is a very sad thing. Then we have this legal aid system which is flawed, delays in judicial proceedings. We know it takes ages and ages. Was it a couple of days ago we were talking about this? It took what, nearly 17 years, 17 years for I think it was in the Hindu newspaper analysis. Basically, back in 2000 there was a very famous program called India's Most Wanted, and the host of that program finally, after 17 years, right, that person is it is proved now after 17 years that that person committed the murder of his wife. So these are the delays. Apart from that, these delays are painful for those people who cannot afford to pay what, 300 rupees or 1000 rupees for their bail, and for a punishment of 30 days that should get over by 30 days. There are many thousands and thousands of people are spending their life in jail. They are behind the bars because they cannot afford to pay, or no one is ready to pay 1000 rupees for them, and they are there in jail for 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, which is a very common thing too, and it is very painful as well. Another topic that is a bit contagious, or you can say it is creating, a sort of negative feeling. It is this rarest of the rare thing. Now, rarest of the rare is something that depends totally on the discretion of that particular judge. What is happening here is that if you observe rarest of the rare, then every different court, like High Court and Session Court, every different courts, right, they all have their own opinions, and it depends on personal prejudices and inconsistent legal procedures. The amount of penalty that you will get is different in different cases, right? Different cases are considered, like say for example rape. At one place it will be considered as a rarest of rare, at the other place it will be considered, or the person would be awarded with a lifetime. So this is something we can say it is still in a dark area, and this death penalty thing is also something that is against the principle of justice. It is against democratic values and things like that, because if you go at the core of our belief system and philosophy of a country called India, then we find that we don't have any powers. Human beings, we don't have power to give life, so we cannot take life away as well. And there are very few countries around the world they practice this death penalty, and most of them are very infamous for their practices, and we stand in line with them. We are in the same page. So this is something that needs to be changed as well. Police reforms, right, we badly need them. Even today we don't have a separate investigation and law and order departments. Everyone, like one person is for a couple of years he would be working as investigating officer. After that he would be transferred to law and order things. So this is basically, we are not promoting skills here. So these are the things that we find with our criminal justice system, right? And these are the things that should be changed. It is not only my opinion, but you can see Supreme Court judges are saying the same thing. Law Commission is also not happy about this torture and things that are going on around us, around this criminal justice system, and it is of course against the democratic tradition of our country. With this difference, yesterday's answers are in front of you. Bipin Chandra Pal, equatorial and agricultural drought. Pema Khandu is the Chief Minister of Arunachal Pradesh, the person who was in picture yesterday, and one of you have added, it was in the Hindi video comment, someone has added additional information regarding it and has mentioned the Siang River as well, which is very good. Thank you very much for adding value. And here are your today's questions. Right, the concept of eightfold path forms the theme of. Here are your 4 options, and the greatest development in the Kushana period was in the field of. Out of 4 things, you have to select one. With this difference, I end this discussion. We are already beaten by the clock. I will share this lecture like every day, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to check out studyiq.com for pen drive and tablet courses. I will see you all soon. Till then, enjoy your studies. Goodbye and Jai Hind.